What's up, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Rabbit and Red Reviews here. I am Eric. Today, we're going to be uncorking Ardbeg Drum committee release, bottled at 52% single malt Scotch from the Islay region of Scotland. I will give you a nose, taste, finish review, share my final thoughts, give it a preliminary score, as we always do with an uncorking. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Ardbeg Drum and about committee releases. So, first of all, Ardbeg likely needs no introduction to folks who are really into heavily peated scotches. Ardbeg, much like Lagavulin and Laphroaig, is from the Islay region of Scotland, known for its heavily peated scotches. So it's going to be very smoky, very intense. And each year, in honor of the Fisio Festival, which is a festival of music and scotch held on Islay every year, they do a special, what's called committee release. You can know that it's an Ardbeg committee release by the label, which is this kind of white tan color. And they release one every year to celebrate the festival. A lot of the other distilleries on Islay also do that, their own versions of kind of a release for the festival. So here in 2019, Ardbeg did the drum. And right now, it is August, so the drum, which is the committee release, which is at 52% ABV, is put out in limited quantities, and then they do a more general public release, which will come in the traditional black label and in a box, which is bottled at 46%. So that is on the market readily right now in the United States, likely around the world. But I was able to get my hands on the committee release, so we're going to check this out. Okay, so before we crack this open, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what it says here. So this Ardbeg Drum is it's a take Ardbeg Scotch whiskey from ex-bourbon casks, rested a while in ex-rum casks from the Americas, and you have Ardbeg Drum, a flamboyant jamboree of flavors with fragrant pine resin, wood smoke, sea spray dancing along ripe banana and pineapple, lavender, licorice, and vanilla sway into rich dark chocolate before parading into a long smoky finish. So a lot of flowery language here, but basically what you're looking at is a non-age statement Ardbeg that has been finished in ex-rum casks. There's a tag on here which just has a ton of information kind of about Ardbeg Drum. It's kind of a carnival, Ardbeg Day Carnival, which is kind of like the vibe they're going for this year. The festival is held back, I think, in March, April of 2019, so it's already passed. But yeah, they do share some tasting notes and a whole bunch of other kind of info, kind of, branding and whatnot for the Ardbeg Drum here. Here on the back, it says, "Let the rumbustious revelry begin. On Islay, our passion for festivity is the lifeblood of our famous island spirit. And this year, it just so happens Ardbeg Drum is perfectly peated excuse to celebrate." Then it tells kind of the same description I already shared with you. It does not say anything on here about added color, or about it being natural colored or being non-chill filtered. Most Ardbegs are non-chill filters. I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that this is likely non-chill filtered and likely natural color. As I mentioned, most Ardbegs are, but it doesn't say so explicitly on the bottle, which is a little bit curious. But okay, so here we have a non-age statement Ardbeg that has an ex-rum finish. So let's crack this open here and get started, shall we? Of course, cracking it open will be the hardest part. I'm pretty excited for this. I did get my hands on the committee release of the Ardbeg Grooves, which is the 2018 FISO release from Ardbeg, or the committee release, so that was quite a good one, so I'm excited to see what happens here. There's the pop. All right, let's pour some of this. All right, so you can take a look at the color there. You know, like, it's rather light, which makes me think that they have not added any color into this, which is consistent with what Ardbeg's MO is, but we don't know for sure. All right, let's get into it. I'm expecting to get, as I said, rum notes. So they do have some stickers on here that are saying that we're going to get banana notes, which is something you usually associate with a younger whiskey. So I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. says briny notes, pineapple notes, a bunch of different stuff on here. We'll see what we get. Right away, peat smoke, dark vegetal peat smoke, kind of like road tar, but boy, you know, it does actually have a lot of sweetness to it as well, really sweet. So while you normally with an Ardbeg or a heavily peated Scotch, you know, the peat smoke kind of overpowers this, it's there, but there's a lot of sweetness too. You can definitely get the banana that they were talking about. Maybe a little bit of pineapple too, I'm not sure. Fruitiness, definitely a fruitiness. Wow. This is one of the sweetest Ardbegs I've ever smelled. Yeah, so peat smoke, kind of dark resinous peat smoke, but it is definitely sharing the stage with this really sweet fruitiness. Not much in the way of kind of spice or anything like that, just bright tropical fruitiness, which I guess is what we would expect from our next rum cask. Okay, so not overly complex on the nose, but definitely inviting, and you know, being a fan of Ardbeg like I am, I'm definitely interested in getting into this. So let's give it a taste. Let's launch. Right away on the nose, pardon me, on the palate, rich, intense peppery peat. So you get the peat smoke, dark chocolate, definitely like a pepperiness, which straddles the fence between kind of a chili pepper and almost alcohol. So this being a non-age statement, definitely possible that this is, you know, kind of a bit of an alcohol burn. The sweetness and stuff that I got on the nose is, it's there, but it's not as prominent as it was on the nose. Citrus, generic kind of citrus. There is kind of that molassesy, caramely flavoring that you would get out of ex-bourbon, but you know, tough to say if that's, I think it's more the bourbon cask influence, so you're getting the vanilla, the caramel, than you would necessarily off the rum cask. Definitely rich, dense, and intense whiskey. Finish, it's lingering nutmeg, bit of that vanilla spice, bit of that dark chocolate again. The banana note is definitely there. It's like, what's that called? Bananas Foster. Chocolate, vanilla, banana flavoring. But it's definitely a short to short medium finish. Doesn't hang on too long. Kind of drying too. And yeah, it's tough to say I'm getting a lot of rum influence. Those fruity notes are there. They're much stronger on the nose than they are on the palate and finish. It's not as much of a rum as it is like a tropical fruit. Like you walked into the grocery store and you're walking through the fruit section and you can just really smell it. That's what's coming off the nose. Oh, really intense. You can feel the burn in my nose almost. Really intense. Signature kind of smoky, peppery Ardbeg. So yeah, as it kind of develops, now I'm getting more, again, the caramel, but with that banana, maybe a little bit of a mango pineapple type thing. Yeah, the finish kind of, yeah, short to short medium. Okay. Pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Oh, that dark chocolate's hanging around quite a bit. Okay. Let's put a little bit of water on this. This is 52% ABV, as I mentioned earlier. So we're going to put a decent amount on here. See if we get anything else out of this. Wow. So with the addition of water on the nose, the peat smoke definitely moves back even further. As I mentioned before, it was kind of in balance with the kind of those bright tropical notes. Now it's almost moved back further. Really sweet. Chocolate, coffee. Wow, yeah, just bright tropical fruit. But all kind of just wrapped in, you know, you can tell this is like a dark peated malt, but boy, the peat really takes a step back with the addition of water. Okay. So with the addition of water, that pepperiness, that burst of kind of spicy pepperiness that I mentioned getting earlier on the taste has kind of taken a step back as well. It's become a lot creamier, definitely not as viscous as you expect from an Ardbeg, particularly at 52%. It's not as viscous, but pretty potent flavor. Again, a little cinnamon, chocolate, dark chocolate, even milk chocolate, caramel, a little bit of a nuttiness. Finish still relatively short. Kind of just left with this, yeah, kind of bananas Foster type taste, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of chocolate, banana. Well, I have to say, you know, it's not blowing my mind. I'm usually quite a fanboy when it comes to Ardbeg. I've had the opportunity to have a couple of the committee releases they've done. I've had the Dark Cove, which was excellent, the Kelpie, which was pretty solid, the Grooves, which was quite good. This one, I'm just not quite sure where it would fall. You're just not getting quite enough of the rum cask. It just tastes young. It tastes young. It tastes like, boy, 3 or 4 more years worth of age. You know, this is something people say all the time. You know, a little more age would do the wonders of difference here. But you know, they're trying to get out of whiskey to folks. You know, relatively quickly. They're doing one of these every year, so it's not the oldest Ardbeg in here. It definitely shows. Yeah, this could be a really, really standout dram. But right now, I just say it's, you know, it's good. It's good, but you know, even a little bit unique for a peated malt, particularly from Ardbeg. But you know, it's not wow. So the thing here, bottle of this, again, I don't know how many bottles of the committee release they do here, but it is a limited release, so it's somewhat exclusive. I mean, you're looking at paying anywhere upwards of like, you know, $120 to $150 for this if you can find it on a shelf. On the secondary market, I've seen it go for upwards of $200. This is simply too much. The standard release, which is out now, you might be able to get for less than $100. Is again 46%. Not sure how it would compare to the 52. Usually, I think higher ABV is better, more alcohol. You kind of get more flavor, and you can control it with water. But you know, for $120 to $150 for the committee release, that's quite too much. Okay, so final thoughts on the Ardbeg drum. You know, like I said, if you're an Ardbeg, you know, super fan and just love getting your hands on the committee releases, no matter what the cost, you know, of course, you're going to grab it. I don't expect that this is going to blow your mind or be as quite as signature an Ardbeg experience as maybe you've got with previous committee releases over the last few years. It is rather, you know, it's unique, but it just feels like an opportunity sort of missed. Like more, you could have got more out of this. You really could have. Maybe you live a little bit more age, a little bit more time finishing it in the rum casks. But all in all, not a bad dram by any stretch. Just wouldn't go run into the store and spending $130 to $150 marks on it. So, you know, my preliminary final score on this is going to be a 3.5, which is going to be, I recommend trying or buying it at a really good price. Considering this was just a neck pour, you know, I'm going to give this some time to oxidize, and we'll revisit this maybe in a month or two and see if we get anything else out of it. But I think I feel pretty comfortable with that 3 out of 5. And let me know your thoughts. Have you had the Ardbeg drum yet, the committee release or the regular release? What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below, and obviously hit that subscribe button. All right, y'all. So there is my uncorking review of Ardbeg drum committee release. We'll catch you next time in Rapid Reviews. So lunch.